to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. What is up, everybody? Happy Monday to you and yours. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Monday. Seriously, I'm having a great Monday. I was just outside running my ass off trying to fly a kite. Yes, I was trying to fly a kite and it was unsuccessful. Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon. Welcome to J is for Justice. My name is Jay. I am your host. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you for being here. But if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing and giving a like if you like what you see in my videos. We go live every Monday and Friday, aka Monday and Friday, at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every week we reset our goals that are above my head. We have a super chat goal, a weekly goal, which is a tip donation goal. And we have our member goal. So if you become a member or you gift a membership, if you tip or you super chat, when those fill up, we spin the Wheel of Friday. So let me give you a little of the Wheel of Friday because we want to get excited about this. This is fun. For real, that's just a little teaser of what happens with the Wheel of Friday. So if we fill these goals this week, we will spin it again on Friday. We give away some wonderful prizes. I have some new stuff. I've got some merch that we're going to do. So thank you guys for being here. That housekeeping is out of the way. Let's talk about today's show. Today's show is going to be Kevin Franke, the husband of Ruby Franke. He is interviewed for the second time, but it's audio only. And it's very disturbing. So his first one was like, oh, God, I had no idea. You know, it was this bullshit. Well, then they released this audio second interview where he's given away all the secrets of Jodi, Ruby, and Pam Bodtcher. And if you don't know who Pam Bodtcher is, I'm about to show you because Pam Bodtcher had some friends coming from Costa Rica on August 30th of 2023, coming in at night, no less. Pam Bodtcher also had Ruby's two older girls, the teen girls, not the oldest, but the two minor teen girls, at her home, scrubbing floors and cleaning so that her company from Costa Rica could come into a clean house. But you're going to see that Pam Bodtcher was in stinky leggings. Stinky ass leggings. And she's got company coming. I'm calling bullshit. I'm not believing it.
Why were you telling her not to fuck herself?
So before we get into this whole story, which it just makes me sick because when you guys hear Kevin, you're going to be like, what the fuck? Like all these people need to be looked at. It's like the Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell thing. But worse, in my opinion. So let me come back to chat and say hello to everybody before we get into today's story. Hello, Michelle. I want to thank all the moderators that came in today. We've got Mike Sanner. Mike Sanner, you won on the Wheel of Friday. So I need your address to send you your gift. Olive is here. Yes, the dream team's here. All right, so we've got lots of members. Meg, Global, Danielle, Helen, Stephanie. It's cool to be a member. We have a Discord channel and everything. Stephanie B. What's up, you guys? Melissa B, good to see you, beautiful. Casey, thank you. Yeah, I'm out there running, flying kites for the little one. What's up, fam? Who else we got? Lisa Rose, Lisa and Tommy. Well, you guys, we're going to put a poll up and we're going to see if you think other people should be charged in this. But let's first just watch a little bit of Pam Bodtcher. This is Pam Bodtcher. She was the partner of Connections, which was Ruby and Jodi's business. But Kevin's going to tell us what this business was really going to entail. So let's watch when the police go to Pam Bodtcher's house. I have no idea what these friends from Costa Rica were coming to do or to see, or why she had these girls, when they were planning on going home. The story is still open-ended, but it's disturbing. It's disturbing. So here's the cops. This is in American Fork, Utah. The first 30 seconds has no audio, by the way. Tommy, can you hear me? What up, Meg? Jay did an overnight to a week-long part. What? Mm-hmm. What's up, Trifina? How you doing? Welcome in, everybody. If you are new here, make yourselves known.
How's it going?
Good.
I'm Officer Hawkins, sir. I'm looking for Pam. Is Pam in today?
Yeah, that's my wife.
Is your wife? She's here.
Hi.
Hello, Pam. How are you doing?
Good.
I'm Officer Hawkins, American Fork Police Department.
Hi.
So we had a
See your stinky
agency
leggings?
assist out of St. George in Springville that we're just looking for. Okay. When you picked her up, what was the case? Did somebody ask you to pick her up, or did you just pick her up? What was going on?
Well, I'm having guests coming, and she came and did some cleaning for me.
Some cleaning for you?
Will you work right now in the
In the
house?
living room right here.
Okay, great. We're gonna have both of you come out here then.
If you can, just for a second. We just have to go over some stuff.
You have a warrant?
Yeah, we do.
Let me see it, please.
So it's in my car, but right now my concern is.
Will you just tell them you're all right?
Well, we
Yeah.
have to physically see her.
Come to the doorway.
We'll go ahead and get the copy of the warrant for you, okay?
You have a warrant for my house?
Specifically for you.
For you and the child.
Yeah. Okay. So
What is going on?
as of right now,
Stuff.
I'll just need you to give your phone to your husband.
Okay.
Okay. And as of this moment, you're going to be detained right now. Okay.
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 So
So,
what
is
does
there
that mean?
is there anything on you?
So her husband says, what is going on with this stuff?
No.
Okay. Perfect. Just put your hands in front of you. Okay.
She ain't got nothing on her but that fupa.
I'm going to place you temporarily under
Wait,
arrest.
wait,
Okay.
wait.
I'll
What are
explain
you
to
doing?
you.
Whoa,
that I'll
whoa, whoa,
explain
What are
to
you guys doing?
I've explained this already. I'm being as courteous as I can.
Okay, well, I'm going to call an attorney.
That's fine.
I don't know what's
Yeah,
going
I don't
on.
even know what this is all about.
You're about to find
So
out,
I'm
lady.
going to explain
My
to you
wife
when we
in
get to the car.
handcuffs, I mean.
Yes. I just explained to you that you're being detained right now. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you to my car, okay? I need this officer to stay with your husband, and I'm going to explain everything to you when we get
Okay.
there, okay?
Okay.
So are you familiar with any...
So we're going to fast forward through this. They call DPS, right? And they wait for DPS. But this is where the officer speaks to Pam Bodtcher. Let's listen to what Pam Bodtcher has to say about her relationship with Ruby Franke. Pam Bodtcher lies.
Okay. So, like I told you everything that I know, right? And as soon as I find out, I tell you kind of thing, right? Pretty transparent, okay? So today, your daughter in St. George was
They thought
hooked up
Ruby
with
was her daughter.
DCFS on a possible child abuse, okay?
My daughters, are you sure you have the right daughter? Stacy Crane?
Someone from St. George that has their child.
No, that's not my daughter.
Okay. Well, those officers are on their way up here to talk to you.
Okay.
And talk to her.
Okay.
And DCFS is on their way as well.
Okay.
I'm not here to argue the logistics.
No, I know.
I'm telling you what I know.
Yeah, it's just those would be my granddaughters, and those aren't my granddaughters. Those are my friends' daughters.
Oh, I see,
Your
Pam.
friend's daughters then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see, Pam. Your wart face only has other people's kids come over and scrub your baseboards and your nasty floors from your nasty husband's feet. Not your grandchildren. I can't stand these people, man.
Is Ruby Franke's daughter.
Okay.
And she's
because you're a liar.
She's a friend of ours. She comes over and helps me every once in a while to do cleaning and stuff.
Every once in a while.
So this is what happened, okay? Her parents were in the situation of a child abuse allegation.
Okay.
DCFS made the report and went to the house and found children malnourished and locked in a safe. Okay?
In the safe?
In a safe. Okay? So now those officers and DCFS have to custody those children.
In a safe? She's not shocked that they're malnourished. In a safe?
And we're looking for this one. The rec center, when they went to go find her, said that you picked her up.
Yeah,
So
I did.
now they are trying to figure out
Why
what,
I picked her
why
up?
you picked her up, what you know with her. Is she okay? Did she come here willingly? All that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, they
so
can
as
ask
soon
her
as they
that.
come here,
Oh, can they, Pam?
we'll be on our way.
Okay.
Okay, that's why I said you're just detained. You're not placed under arrest just right now until they figure out what's going on with their part. Okay?
Okay.
So as long as she's not tied up and bound because you
I did make her scrub.
do something, you
I
know?
did make her scrub the floor, and they vacuumed. And
As long as she's not tied and bound. Now, at this point, she doesn't give up the fact that there's two kids in there. She's only owning Julie at this point.
stuff because I have company coming tonight from Costa Rica.
Okay.
So, but she did it of her own free will. We had lunch.
Yeah.
Oh,
we
I
went
fed
to
her.
Rolly's farm and had ice cream.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you just want what?
That's not my case.
Okay.
DCFS and Springfield Police Department asked me to come here, make contact with you. It's here to detain you until
Okay.
they can ask questions.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions for now? Until they get here at least?
No, yeah, I was just scared because I thought it was my daughter. That's not my daughter. My daughter only has little kids. I mean, she doesn't have any kids that age.
Oh, those kids aren't old enough to do your slave labor work, lady. Your pristine landscaping without no weeds in it.
Sorry. What was your question? Sorry, ask it again.
Oh,
My sergeant asked if everything was okay, so that's it.
yeah.
Any other questions I can answer for you?
No, I don't understand why having her come to my house.
Who, her?
Yeah.
Because they don't know whether it was voluntary or not. I think it's the first problem.
I see. Okay.
And the second problem is, since those children are...
She's not even concerned
I don't
about
know
the
the full
children.
details of how mistreated or how malnourished those children are.
Okay.
All I know is that's the words and treatment that they used,
Yeah.
which means that they are severely concerned of her well-being
Okay.
and every child that's in that home.
Okay. So they'll just have to talk to her and
Because there has been... I've been a part of many DCFS cases where as soon as...
Okay, so there's that part. Now let's go up here where the second daughter comes out, and then we'll go to Kevin. So that's Julie on the left, and then I can't remember the other one on the right. And they won't speak to cops. They're petrified. And Pam's husband says he wants to protect them. Creepy.
So what do we wait for now?
We came up to verify they were here.
Okay.
And at this point, we're waiting for a phone call to let us know what we need to do at this point.
Did you guys get to talk to Pam?
We have no idea what's going on. That's what I just told him. We were just told to come up here and see if they were here. That's all we're here for.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Island, the window
Sitting
guy.
in that in handcuffs in that car.
Oh my God, you guys. Do you guys remember? I just had an epiphany. Do you remember when we watched this before and this dude says to the cops, "Oh, I wouldn't even handcuff my grandkids"? That's a disturbing comment, knowing what we know now, isn't it? He can't handle the fact his wife's in handcuffs. Too bad.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
I wonder who planted all those
So
flowers.
More people coming, or you're just waiting for a call?
There's Springville officers on their way, is the information that we have, okay?
Whoa, man.
Crazy.
She said, we came home.
They probably will be here in 10 to 15 minutes.
Chad Daybell looking ass. This dude is.
I can just see more and more guys showing up. And girls.
Well, that's what's gonna happen. I already
so
told you
crazy.
that.
I know.
Right?
I mean, more than a couple, right?
Oh, I don't know how many officers. I would assume
I
very
mean, this
many.
is like what happens when there's like some big drug bust or something.
A big drug
I
bust?
do have, I've done a lot of background. You can run a background on me. You know,
Not too concerned
I had
with
to do
that.
that for the VA several times. Been drug tested, been everything.
What?
Yep.
No one even...
Well, they have to do.
Wait a minute. No one even asked about this dude, and he's like, you can run a background on me and drug test me. Like, what? No one said anything about that, dude. What are you guilty of, mofo?
Proper investigation, okay? Maybe not necessarily into you, but
Diarrhea of the moon.
whatever their case is about, okay?
Did Ellie ever find out who these friends from Costa Rica were? I don't know. I don't know. Pam has not faced any charges. She was only
Is
detained.
that the only way to detain someone is to put them in
Oh, this is the grandchildren thing. Listen.
No, sir, I already explained it to you, okay?
Explain what?
The reason why she's in the back of a car right now. Okay, do you want me to re-explain it to
Well,
you?
I was just asking you.
No,
if
sir,
there
that's not.
I was
That's
asking
not
you
the only way
if
to
there's
detain a
another
person.
way. What's another
Sure.
way to detain someone?
So if I were to tell you you're being detained right now, you'd be detained right there. Does that make
So
sense?
why can't she?
Because
be
she
detained?
cannot be talking to anyone else. She cannot be on her phone. Per policy, she has to be
I
in
have
him.
her phone.
I understand that. Okay. I've already explained it to you. There's officers on their way who are going to talk to her. Like I said, we all have limited information. We're assisting officers. I do not know the background of the case, but obviously it's serious enough for her to be detained, okay? And for the children to be present. Alright? If I had more information, I'd give it to you, but I don't.
I think he mentions the handcuffs again. Let me put it on. Let me speed it up a little bit. Someone whistle. And those girls just sit there. They don't move. You know why? Because remember how Ruby would say, "Don't you move a muscle?" And she made Eve sit on the park bench and she said, "Don't you move?" And as soon as Eve fidgeted, she brought her in the house and made her start carrying more boxes. These girls can sit there like statues and not say a fucking word because they've been abused that way. I think he's going to get on the handcuff bullshit again. He just cannot handle that Pam is in handcuffs and he's not near her.
Said, shut the fuck up.
Look at how still they sit. It's unbelievable. Because I think he also says, I need to protect them, or because they want to talk to him in the driveway, and he's like, no, I'm staying by them. I have this on 2 times speed, too. And he's sitting there on his phone. God knows what he's doing on that phone. Is this how Oh, I wonder if this is how Jodi knew. I wonder if this is how Jodi had the heads up from this dude. We got to look at the body cam times because this is 8:30. This is August 30th at 19:04. So I don't know what time they were at Jodi's. We need to look at that. Look how still these girls are. They're not rocking. They're not moving. They're not talking. I hate to say it, but I think this abuse has been going on like this for a while.
Those two are police officers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
And
Listen.
they were just checking to make sure that these girls were here and that they're okay.
Us or them?
Them.
So they're part of a bigger organization than we are. They're major crimes from Utah County. So they're a little bit higher on the echelon. They got called here in case we needed assistance.
I don't think you're going to need assistance.
Right? I think we can handle it, right? No, they're just checking.
I think the cop actually says, oh, your garden looks nice. I can't with this dude.
Is your backyard fairly steep, or is it flat?
Well, it's not hills.
Was it
Around
got hills?
3/4 of an acre.
Oh, okay.
So this guy has a bum ankle, and he's trying to claim that he push mowed the grass. I think they made Julie push mow the grass, but he's trying to say he did it because they know exactly what's going on here. Pam is up to her ugly brown eyeballs in Connections, and Connections was going to start their own entity. Like Chad Daybell.
Well, I just saw that the east side of your yard is a pretty good drop off there.
Yeah, over there.
Yeah. I was just wondering if your backyard was hilly as well.
It's got some hills.
Yeah.
Look at his shoes, have no grass
Probably
on
be
them.
fun for like a slip and slide.
Yeah.
Would it be good for a
It's
slip
fun
and slide?
sledding.
Oh, yeah. I bet. That would be way fun. Oh, very good.
Very disturbing. I want to know who was coming in from Costa Rica. Lisa Rose, they were at Jodi's in late afternoon, and Ruby and Jodi were arrested around 8. So this came first. Wait. This is 7 p.m. This is 7 p.m. I'm paying those bills, Island, because them bars ain't filling up. Gotta fill it up with commercials. Wah, wah, wah. How would Kevin know, though? Did Kevin even know at this point? They were having Crazy Kate from Costa Rica. Oh, I've got a funny going out video for us today, too. Don't let me forget. I'm going to get it pulled up over here while we watch this.
You guys want to drink your water?
That's very kind of you. We're okay.
Got it in the fridge in the garage if you're thirsty.
Now he's offered water. I'd be like, no, thank you. I'm good.
Well, thank you. I've got water in my vehicle. Thank you, though. Do you girls need water? No? Okay. Do you just play city volleyball, or do you play for school? Do you play club at all? No? How long have you been playing volleyball? You like it? Yeah? What position do you usually play? No? You guys kind of rotate? You rove? Is that what you call it? Rove around? That's cool. That's awesome. I played volleyball back in the day too. Super fun. And you play? Is that right? Okay. Sweet. Is your season over, or are you just getting started? Is it? How'd you guys do? Yeah? Good. Do they do it by age bracket? Is it skill level or bracket? Okay. What was your age bracket? Okay. Very good. Are there girls that like play on your same level then?
Trying to get these girls to open up a little bit, feel more comfortable.
Like skill level wise. That's awesome. It's hard sometimes when you get stuck in an age bracket. Some people
Thank
don't
you,
know how
Global.
to. You're like, yeah, we had some of those too.
Global coming in hot with the first tip of the day. Can we get some
You guys play
turkeys
cities just
for that? Turkey,
how does that
turkey.
work? Playing
Where's
for
my
city
turkeys?
leagues.
Thank you so much, Global.
Okay. Do you guys do any sort of like I don't know what they call it, like competitions to where you play other cities too? No? You just play each other? That's fun. Sweet. What's your favorite position to play? You just like to play? That's awesome. Well, you're so tall. I definitely did. Yeah, you're super tall. You walked out and I was like, wow. It makes sense. You play volleyball.
I think these cops were really nice.
Are you gonna try to play like an... No. Not for the school teams. Just a hobby, just for fun. All good, as long as it stays fun and they're not doing it because you feel like it's a chore, right? Do you go?
It doesn't feel like a chore. Did you notice that?
You're not in public school? Do you do homeschool? Yeah. You Dutch braid your own hair? Yeah. Me too. I was lazy to do that. I just have it in a ponytail braid. Did you teach yourself or did someone teach you? Half and half? That's awesome. Can you braid other people's hair too? Oh, very good. I feel like sometimes a lot of people, they can either braid them on themselves or braid other people's hair, but they can't do both. So that's really cool. Yep, I'll have to go with you, and he can stand by too if he doesn't.
This is when they say if you run, we're gonna chase you.
Yep, but I have to go with you too. She just needs to grab her shoes. Where are your shoes at in the house? They're in the back of the house? Okay.
Like in the kitchen. Back by the door there.
Or he can grab them. You want to grab them? If you can get up on that sore ankle. Dang it.
Yeah, maybe you should just go with her.
Okay.
They were gonna run. Look, they're whispering. They're making a plan.
If you try to run, we will chase you.
Are you both going in? Is that what you're asking about?
Did you want to grab your shoes or no? Do you want them to wait? Okay.
Those guys are like, nope, they're not moving. Poor kids, scared to death. They're scared of the wrong people, you know? Yeah, look how dirty Julie's shoes are. I bet the next chore was to scrape those pillars and repaint them. So these kids were having fun at a rec center. Listen, these kids were having fun at a rec center, swimming in a pool, and they got yanked from the pool to come over to Pam's and clean her house.
What was that?
At least you guys don't have lights flashing. That'd be even worse.
This guy.
Never had
Try
a
to
police,
be incognito.
never had a police car in my driveway.
I'm sure.
I have one every night.
Yeah, but your neighbors know who you are. They know what you're up to and everything.
Oh.
You just need a VIN inspection.
So he's saying his neighbors don't know what he's up to.
Need
We
what?
couldn't find the van. You just need a VIN inspection. That was it. We couldn't
VIN
find the VIN.
inspection.
Like
All
for
you
your
gotta
car?
tell.
For which car?
We'll look at that one for you. Make sure it's good. And then that's what you can tell everybody.
If you want me to, I can throw him down on the front lawn and cuff him and make it look like he was running through the neighborhood from somebody.
Him?
Oh my God, that cop. He said if you want, I can have him run through the front yard and I can chase him and cuff him and make him look like he was running through the neighborhood from somebody. Oh my God, this guy.
Sorry.
What was that?
At least you guys don't have lights flashing. That'd be even worse.
Let's speed it up a little bit.
Never had
Try
a
to be
police.
incognito.
Never had a police car in my driveway. Ever.
You have now.
I have one every night.
Yeah, but your neighbors know who you are. They know what you're up to and everything.
You just need a VIN inspection.
Need
We
what?
couldn't find the van. You just need a VIN inspection. That was it. We couldn't
VIN
find the van.
inspection.
Like
All
for
you
your
gotta
car?
tell.
For which car?
Me too, Smeech.
We'll look at that one for you. Make sure it's good. And then that's what you can tell everybody.
If you want me to, I can throw him down on the front lawn and cuff him and make it look like he was running through the neighborhood from somebody.
Him? I'm not going to cuff him. No thanks. I couldn't cuff anyone right now with this ankle.
Right here.
What'd you do to him?
Head surgery.
I couldn't cuff anyone right now. Listen, here it comes.
I couldn't even cuff my grandkids.
Ooh, what?
Psychopathy.
Play that again, Maestro.
couldn't even cuff my grandkids.
Considering what we know, little disturbing.
You're what the French call les incompetents.
All right, let's move on to Kevin now. So we know Pam gets detained, DCF takes the girls, and we know what happens after that. So this was roughly about 7 p.m. because, look, the sun's going down, but the friends from Costa Rica have not arrived, and it's already 7:30 at night. So I don't know what time a flight was coming in from Costa Rica, but I would love to know more about that. I really would. So here is a little bit of Kevin. This is only a minute long. This is when he wanted to have his oldest daughter, Sherry, arrested because she had his stuff, his laptop. What was on Mr. Kevin's laptop that he was so worried about? And
all there?
Inquiry minds want to know.
Yes. Yeah, explain to me again why this was not robbery.
Because it's a civil issue.
Robbery.
You guys are family. She's been in the house before. You haven't been in the house in a year. She had interest in the items. She didn't take them with the intention to deprive you of them. So theft, that's the theft code. We have to prove intent to deprive you of the items. And that wasn't her intent in having them. So the detective sergeant said that we're not going to charge her for anything.
Okay. I'll have to do some more research on that.
You're welcome to do that if you want to follow up with her detective.
Shady.
Yeah, he'll be here on Tuesday.
Shady. Is that not shady as hell? All right. Now we're going to get to the feature of today. And this is Kevin Franke's second interview with the investigators. This is audio only. So I will turn on the captions. But yeah, let's listen and walk through this.
Things got really, it got strange around the fall of 2020. The Hannahs were trying to convince and bring Ruby into
the Hannahs.
Thank you. Thanks. Into this organization called Connexions, and that particularly were focused on things like lust versus love, and healthy marriages, happier marriages, happier relationships. She invited me to go to it was like a conference or something held at Thanksgiving Point in Lehigh. And there were like 100 people there, and that was in the fall of 2019, maybe late summer of 2019, late summer 2019. And my impression at that time was this is absolute craziness. This is a bunch of man-hating women that are just looking for excuses to tear down their husbands, and I mean that's what it felt like to me when I was in there.
That's what it was. You were right.
But it was confusing because there were people that I respected a lot that were up on the stage with microphones in hand, giving testimonials of how great this was and how it changed their lives and their marriage, and like the Hannahs were among them, and so yeah, it was confusing. Ruby, then we went on a trip with the Hannahs to the UK in October of 2019, and I swear the whole objective of the trip was to convince me to get into Connexions, because all of them were in it except me, but they made some really eloquent arguments, and I agreed to join a men's group with Jodi in January of 2020, and I would do it for 3 months. So I started that men's group in 2020. And, you know, the group, I don't know if you've ever been to like an addiction recovery group, but that's what it
Addiction
was. That's what it
recovery.
felt like. I mean, there were
I'll be right back. I'm
probably
listening
10
on my
men
phone.
in there. It was on Zoom. All of them were like working through, you know, various stages of like sex addiction, porn addiction, drug addiction, and it was just it was like a 12-step group, but intended just for general like addiction recovery. And I really was like, what the hell am I doing here? Like, I don't belong here. But everyone's like, no, come here. Like, you can learn to have a better like life and a better marriage. And so I thought, okay, whatever. I went through my three, you know, obligatory 3 months, and I was ready to leave. And then I got challenged to. Oh, thank you. And then I got challenged to sit down and have a vulnerable conversation with my wife and ask her how my lustful choices have affected her. And, you know, to me that was like a loaded question. I thought, you know, I still didn't see what I had done or anything that would constitute any form of like, you know, abuse or anything like that. And but I did. I took the challenge and I sat down, and for 2 hours Ruby very emotionally just shared how she felt in our marriage and how the things that I over 20 years of marriage, you know, asking for sex as a husband frequently, or asking her to wear lingerie or things like that, how that made her feel. And it was really emotional, and it touched me. Like, I didn't realize that she felt so strongly about that she felt so hurt by that. And so I committed that I would really give it a go. And I stayed in the men's group. And so, you know, in that men's group, I met with Jodi every week, with the other men that were in the group. And then it got weird because like our marriage felt like it was getting better and stronger. So this was now, you know, summer and fall of 2020, and in addition to that, there was the whole YouTube cancel thing. I don't know how much you guys are even interested or aware of that, but in May of 2020, some videos that Ruby released on that dealt with Chad just blew up in her face, and it was all over the news, and hundreds of thousands of TikTokers and all this stuff were just piling on and basically burned down like our YouTube channel. And overnight, like, the income went, you know, we lost 90% of the income overnight, and that was hard.
Was this like the, which episode was this? Was this the one where they talked about like the beanbag? Or
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they started going back and trying to dig and find, and then they'd find these little nuggets like, oh, look, Eve went to school without a lunch one day, or, you know, stuff like that. And, but it was the beanbag video that really set people off.
So then they went back from there.
Mm-hmm. So at that time, Ruby was really distraught, and she was looking for support. She was looking for someone who would understand her, who would validate her, and she found that in Jodi. All the stuff she did with Chad was because of Jodi, and so it makes sense that she would go to Jodi, you know, for emotional support when she felt like her world was burning down. In the meantime, like, I felt like our marriage was getting stronger. It felt better. Like we didn't fight as much, and even though we were having less sex, it felt more connecting, and it was just, I thought, wow, this is great. Like, you know, this is great. And I was happy to be the guy up on the stage. You know, that started sometime in like late 2020 or the fall of 2020, there would be a conference, and Ruby would say, I thought we were just attending it, but then she'd say, hey, they wanted us to get up and tell our story, and I'm like, oh, okay, sure. So I get up and just say, like, yeah, I was the guy who said, I think this is a bunch of, like, man-hating, women, but it really has made a difference in my marriage, and it really did. Like, I believed it. And so those conferences and stuff, everything continued like that until March of 2021, when after a conference, a Connections conference down in St. George, all the inner circle, all the people who were being trained as mental fitness coaches and stuff. So that was Ruby and a bunch of other people and their spouses. We went out to like a dinner afterwards, and that's where Jodi really opened up to the women in a private conversation that she believed she was being tormented and haunted by shadow figures every night, and that was spooky, and I don't know exactly what happened, but the Hannahs do. All I know is at some point within a couple days of that, in that month of March, the Hannahs drove down from Mapleton and picked Jodi up and brought her back to their home in Mapleton, and she lived for 6 weeks in that home in Mapleton. And this is where, like, I don't know what happened, but I do know that there's two different sides of stories. They tried to introduce her to a new cult lady that the Hannahs were getting into, so they wanted to merge their cults into one, apparently, and
they referred to it as a cult at the time?
Oh, no. No one in a cult says, I'm in a cult.
Right. I was wondering. But from your perspective, it looks like two cult leaders merging together.
From where I stand now, absolutely. According to Jodi, she was held against her will for 6 weeks and was kidnapped, and she escaped and got out. According to the Hannahs, after 6 weeks of Jodi stabbing herself with forks and knives, cutting herself, and wanting to commit suicide and trying to seduce the husband of the family, they kicked her out. I don't know what's the...
Did you hear that? Did y'all hear that? Listen to this again.
As after 6 weeks of Jodi stabbing herself with forks and knives, cutting herself, and wanting to commit suicide and trying to seduce the husband of the family, they kicked her out. I don't know what's the truth. Maybe a little bit of both, I don't know. But the point is, somewhere around mid-April, Jodi was back in her home in Ivins, and she was a hot mess. And she reached out to Ruby for help. And Ruby was always jealous of the Hannahs, that they had a better relationship with Jodi than she did. Ruby, and this is like, goes back to her childhood. She wanted to be the best friend. She wanted to be the most liked. She wanted to be the one that everybody knew. And so it hurt her that she felt like she was being excluded from what was going on at the Hannah's house. And then she'd say, why so many secrets? And the Hannahs would say, it's not secret, it's sacred. And when the time's right, you can know too, So we went down to Jodi's house in May of 2021. That was the first time I'd ever been there. And it blew my mind, as I'm sure you have walked in there and gone, how does a therapist live like this? Like, didn't make sense to me. But we were there, and she opened up and talked about, her struggles and what was going on. And I gotta say, like, I'm a smart guy. I'm an engineer.
And I fell for it.
I've designed and helped build some really big stuff. I've been a college professor. I can't explain some of the stuff that happened while we were there. Like crashes in the basement while we were talking upstairs, and plates like in the kitchen just flying off by themselves, like full speed, smashing on the wall and falling to the floor like by themselves. I can't explain it, but I saw it with my own eyes, and I don't have any way to explain it other than there's some crazy shit going on. Ruby was convinced that we could intervene and help Jodi. I didn't want a thing to do with it. I tried to get her bishop involved and say, hey, go to the priesthood and the church and all that stuff. Just go to your support network. But Ruby continued to be like, no, we can help. Like, she doesn't want that. Could you imagine what happened to her reputation if this got out and stuff? Let's help her. So we went down a couple more times between May and August, but it reached the point where in August, her bishop at the time, a guy who's down there in Kayenta named Scott Galbraith. He's not our bishop anymore, but I mean, he was going over there
a bishop
every night, and he'd be there for 4 hours, and he'd be like, I'm fighting evil spirits, I'm casting demons out, I'm crazy stuff going on, and finally he got to the point where he's like, I can't do this anymore. There needs to be some sort of resolution. It was at that point that they said, why don't you take her up to your house? And I was like, oh, hell no. I don't want this in my house. But I was beaten over the head with it. That's really insensitive. She's done so much to help our family, and you're being selfish, and she has needs, and come on, it won't be for long. And so I relented, and I was like, okay, actually, this could kind of be fun. Let's just make it fun, and we'll, she needs a vacation, so we'll just go take drives up the canyon and stuff like that. And it turned into just a crazy house. The moment she showed up in my house, just the weirdest crap started happening. Lights turning on and off, sounds of people walking in walls, and sounds like footprints going up walls and across the ceiling, and
what?
Stuff floating around, and it was just
what?
It was weird, and I hated it. And I became the resident exorcist. That was the title I came up with myself. I thought it was kind of funny, but it was my job to go and give her blessings whenever she started to go into a trance and go into possession, and which started to be a lot. And Ruby would go up and check on her. It started every 4 hours at night, and then it moved every 2 hours at night, then it moved every hour at night, and then at some point Ruby said, you know what, I'm just going to start sleeping in there, and if I need you, I'll come down and get you.
Oh my God! She said, I'm just gonna start sleeping in there. If I need you, I'll come get you. Don't come in here because I'm in here with Jodi. That is so nasty. Nasty.
Creep town, dude.
Ugh.
That's kind of weird, but okay.
Kind of weird.
And that was that. They started sleeping in the same bed, and.
Oh, dear God. So I move out. I move out. And 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 I move out.
then she started having like trances and stuff. I would say probably September, where she believed that she was going to heaven and seeing God and Jesus and talking with them. And she would get together with Pam Bodtcher. Ruby, Pam, and Jodi would get together and do these interventions.
Pam!
That's what they called them. And so they'd just go up and lock themselves in a room for 4 or 5 hours, and then they'd come out and they'd all just be on cloud nine, and Ruby would share with me like she had this amazing vision, and I wrote it and recorded it all down, and
Wait. Let's go back a minute.
Interventions. That's what they called them. And so they'd just go up and lock themselves in a room for 4 or 5 hours, and then they'd come out and they'd all just be on cloud nine, and Ruby would share with me like she had this amazing vision, and I wrote it and recorded it all down, and we have a work to do from God, and you're part of it, and the bishop's part of it, and we're all part of bringing all this stuff to the world. And so it was, and it continued like that until I wanted to move on with life.
He was like,
and
okay.
I would call it dragging my heels, so that was around.
So yeah, my wife started sleeping with Jodi, so I said, I'm out. Peace.
October, and Jodi flipped out because during one intervention, Chad was in the backyard with a bunch of friends, and it was my job to keep all the kids contained in the basement watching movies or playing video games. And I took the dog on a walk, and I thought they were done, but they weren't done, and Chad had all his high school friends over in the backyard. Jodi flipped out. She was ready to come back to Ivan's on her own that night, and Ruby and Pam talked her into staying, but that was the first night.
She flipped out because Chad was hanging out with his buddies. Dude, these people are all evil. Pam included.
Where Ruby said, I want a separation from you. And it was an in-home separation.
In-home?
So it was, it was hard. Basically, there were all these rules now placed on me. Like, I could leave when I wanted, but I couldn't come back until Ruby gave me permission. I couldn't come into the kitchen to eat until Ruby gave me permission. And the upstairs where Jodi...
They made him totally submissive. Oh my God, you guys. These women worked it a certain way where they put him completely in submission. So what was going on with Pam Bodtcher's husband? Why are they together? Why aren't they chasing Bodtcher's husband out the door? What's up with that?
Now placed on me. Like, I could leave when I wanted, but I couldn't come back until Ruby gave me permission. I couldn't come into the kitchen to eat until Ruby gave me permission. And the upstairs where Jodi roamed was completely off limits. I couldn't go upstairs anymore in my own house.
His house, not Jodi's, his
and
house.
There would be, Ruby would dictate all of the terms of how our interactions would be, when we would talk, and that was hard. And it was during that time that I really became, I would say, dependent upon Ruby. Like, if she said a kind word to me, like, my whole day was made, right? And so that separation continued all the way up until the holidays, maybe the last week of December, first week of January, and then Ruby ended that separation. Jodi went home the second week of January. But by that time, like, Ruby, Pam, and Jodi were completely determined to do this work that they felt God had for them. And I thought it was crazy. Like, I thought it was just batshit crazy. Like, Ruby, you have a reputation, you have a multi-million-dollar business, you have a brand, and you are just giving it away. She wanted to legally, like, work with Jodi's attorney to basically give Jodi 8 passengers. And
oh my God!
And become an employee of Connections. So basically the contract was Ruby gives Jodi everything and Ruby gets nothing in return. Our manager, our YouTube manager at the time was like, red flags, like, I don't know how to tell you, she is scamming you. Ruby fired him. And I was like, I believe our manager, I think he's right, and Ruby started threatening me with another separation. And just like, this isn't about money, this is about doing God's work. And so we continued in that dynamic for the next 6 or 7 months until she went on a trip with Jodi and Pam down to Arizona. And I think they, like, when I read her journal, she went into Mexico or something and bought drugs or something, like prescription drugs for the emergency kits. And
they were taking pills, y'all. They were getting drugs. They were drugging. Oh my God. They went into Mexico and bought frickin' drugs. Pam, Jodi, and Ruby. The 3 fucking musketeers. Wow. She should have those silver bracelets permanently.
She went into Mexico or something and bought drugs or something, like prescription drugs for the emergency kits. And when she came back from that trip, before she even brought the bags into the house, she pulled me in and said, I want to talk with you. And that's when she asked me to leave. And that was July 20th, 2022. My interactions with Jodi at that point became one of Jodi. I was still in the men's groups, but the dynamic changed. Instead of being like one of the top people that helped run groups and helped support, all of a sudden I felt like I got knocked to the bottom. And Jodi was just piling on me every week in the men's groups. And the other men just do whatever Jodi does.
The other men.
If Jodi piles on
there?
somebody, they all pile on. If Jodi praises somebody, they all praise. And so it really felt like a pack of dogs, and Jodi was the alpha. And whoever she, sicked the dogs on, they would go. Whoever she praised, the dogs would just lick them up and down. And that's how these groups went. And so once I was in separation, every week was just hell, psychological hell. And Jodi was running it. Everything was on Zoom. And I knew that the only way I would ever get back into my house was I had to get Jodi's approval. Because if I didn't get Jodi's approval, I would never get Ruby's approval. But it felt like
take
an
control
impossible
of your
task,
family,
because
dude.
no matter what I did, no matter how much I tried to track better, be truthful and not be selfish, every week it was like, you're being manipulative, you're being selfish, you're lying, you're hiding something, you're still hiding stuff. And I really started to question my sanity, honestly.
And this was Jodi that we were talking about.
And so that continued for an entire year. But it became more and more and more and more and more isolated.
A whole year he put up with this shit like that?
Until, Jodi had an approved list of men that I could make phone calls to, and it was basically 3 men. But 2 of those, all 3 of those 3 men were like, we don't want to do phone calls with you anymore because you're being manipulative. And I'm like, well, who told you that? Well, Jodi did. So I was completely cut off. And if I went to my church leaders, I was seeking enablement. If I went to my family, I was seeking enablement. If I went to anybody, I was seeking enablement. And so it felt like a no-win. I felt trapped. And that's where I was all the way up until the last week of July, when Jodi called me one day out of the blue and just said, I don't understand why you're not getting it. You're not changing. I don't get it. So I've been asking God what to do, and God told me that you need to have complete, what's the word they would use? Solitude with God.
Become a monk.
Yeah. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, I don't want you to come to men's group anymore. And I don't want you to do phone calls with any of the men. And I'm like, well, then who am I going to talk with? Who's going to support me? God will. You need to learn to go to God. And so I'm just like, there's nobody. You're just, I'm going to be completely cut off. And she's like, no, you'll have God. So that was the last week of July, and that was my last interaction and contact with Jodi. But it was strange because at that time, around that time, things with Ruby started like picking up, and I didn't understand why, but like Ruby wanted to meet in a parking lot.
Oh my God.
And wanted me to sign over titles of documents, like the 2 of our cars wanted me to sign them over to her name. And
to Ruby.
Mm-hmm. But I was like, okay, I'm just not, I'm in total compliance mode at this point. Just like, I'm a good husband, you see.
She wanted to sign everything over to Jodi. Their cars, their home. Wow.
You can trust me, and so whatever she asked, like sign over the cars to me, no questions, just okay. And then another thing, she was like, I might want to do an investment, but I will need your signature. Do you trust me enough that I could get your signature if I wanted to pursue my own investment? Yeah, sure. Whatever you say.
How big of an investment was she talking about? What did she tell you?
She never did, and I never signed anything. She never brought anything to me. But when I returned to the house, everything was packed up, and a neighbor came over and said she asked for the HOA rules, and
she was going to rent it out.
Mentioned to him that she wanted to rent the house.
She was going to rent out the house.
Which I was like, are you kidding me? And apparently she wanted to sell the house, but couldn't because my name is on the mortgage.
So she tried to get him to sign off on the house so they could just own it outright. And she said, oh, you won't do that? Fine. Well, we're moving out and I'm going to rent it. And Jodi and I are taking the money.
And I think that's what she was talking about of, will you sign something if I just put it in front of you? And you know what? I probably would have. Like, that's how messed up I was.
I'm glad you didn't.
Me too. That would have been disastrous. But I can't describe to you what torture and hell it was to live an entire, it was more than a month really, in complete isolation.
The fuck? he lived a month in complete isolation? This is beyond comprehensible, guys, to me. What the hell? They had to have been drugging this dude. He's lucky, honestly, he's alive.
Believing that I was like evil and
here we go. Charles Vallow.
Manipulative and lying and selfish, and that I had abandoned my family, and that I was more interested in my selfishness.
He should have never left
my family.
And I think moving forward, you going through that is going to be extremely helpful. I felt that way because a lot of those are the same words that were used with them, and you're going to understand how they felt, you know.
We've already talked about that, actually. And the couple of times we've met, I've said, this is how I felt. Did you feel that way? Like, yes, this is how I felt. Like, when we each confess to things that we didn't do, I'm like, I confess to things I never did. But I was so scared. And he's like, that's what I did too. So we connected on that level, you know, and it's crazy.
So I think what they do is, because the Mormon religion is so strict, is that they were using the Mormon religion's rules against these men. So like, we know men like sex, right? We know men are turned on by sex. It's known, it's not a secret. So why don't we attack them for watching pornography or, you know, wanting to have sex a certain way or whatever the case may be. So I think they really take this strict Mormon religion and they twist it and bend it to fit their weird agenda. But it's just, what are you guys thinking so far? I don't feel sorry for this guy at all. Unless he was drugged. But when you come out of it, like, he's still sitting here after knowing what they did to his kids, sitting here. He's not saying, oh man, maybe I was drugged. Like, I know they went to Mexico and I was seeing plates fly around the room and floating things, but I never thought once that I was drugged. So it tells me he is still hiding things. He's still hiding things. I think he liked them being lessies. I think he's hiding things now. And I think it's scary that he's trying to get those kids back. Yuck. No, I think they use that religion. They go for Mormon guys because Mormon guys have to feel guilty for every fucking thing they do. And then this Jodi convinced these women that they're evil. Like, that the Mormon religion is so, in my opinion, out there that it can be misconstrued, obviously, so easily with spirits and demons and portals and all this weird shit. Like, I know every religion or organized religion is a little cultish in its own way. But when's the last time you heard of a Catholic going through portals? And I mean, it's just, you don't hear it that often. But with the Mormon religion, you seem to hear it more often. And I think it's because their beliefs are already so bizarre, if you will. Outdated, if you will. They make everybody feel guilty, if you will. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not a feel-good religion, in my opinion. And neither is Catholicism. I was raised Catholic. It doesn't make me feel good. I prefer to, like, worship and feel good, you know? Like, I want it to refresh me if I go to a service on Sunday and get me geared up for my week. And then by the time I'm worn down at the end of that week, I go back on Sunday and I get geared up again because it's supposed to lift you up. I don't feel like that religion lifts you up. And maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't feel like it's very uplifting or positive. I feel like it's all about keeping bad things secret, and everything you do, you should feel guilty about. So I don't feel bad for this guy at all. I don't. As a parent, our job is to protect. He didn't protect those kids. He should have said, hey, You know what, Ruby? You want to run off with them hussies? Go right ahead. But you're not taking my kids with you. And that's where I draw the line in the sand. And if Jodi has a fucking problem with it, Jodi can have a problem with it. But these women are manipulative. They probably, like he said, made up lies about him, pushed him into a corner. I mean, it's the weirdest dynamic I've ever heard of.
That anybody can get to that level of desperation, but we were there. We were there.
And this was the end of July, what you're saying? End of July 2022, or the last time you saw Jodi was
23.
23. Okay.
The last communication I had with Jodi was the last week of July. Might have been like the first couple days of August, but just that.
Just shortly before we made contact with you.
Yeah.
Or you made contact with us.
A month before.
Yeah.
Okay. So for that whole month, my life was literally wake up, exercise, go to work, pretend everything's okay, come home, do connections like workbooks and read scriptures and try to strip selfishness out of my life. Like, go to bed, wake up, repeat every day. Boom, 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 boom. I mean, I was so upside down. And my plan was in 6 months, I get to reach back out to Jodi again and she'll let me back in the group, and then I can prove. Oh, I don't know if I heard a door knock, but
Might be your kids.
Might be. Oh.
And we can.
Has it been an hour?
Almost.
I told you it wouldn't take an hour. I'm sorry.
We're good too if you need to head out. That was seriously.
I guess
we just wanted, yeah.
The only questions I would have, and just going back, you said that she was having like these visions of like were you ever privy enough to understand or being told what those visions were?
A couple of them.
What were the two they should tell you about?
So like one of them, she was walking along the beach with Jesus, and Jesus challenged her to go walk on the water, and it was a whole lesson on walking on the water. Another, she would walk with Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother, and she learned about, she had a pet lion in heaven named Charles. I don't know why I never forgot that name, but it was like this massive lion, and she got to ride the lion and learned that, you know, all about who she was and this pet lion and all. There was another one where there was a lot of satanic ones where when she would go into possession mode, she would talk in like different voices.
Oh my dear
God. It was
God.
really creepy. But the voices would say, she's ours, we're not letting go. She is Satan's bride. She's mine. I'm going to marry her. You know, so if she was faking it, she believed that she was trying to.
If this didn't result in such horrific abuse, I would be laughing my ass off right now. Is he for real?
Or Satan wanted her as her bride.
What's her name? Chucky? Charles?
You said, just
Chucky?
clarifying, so the last time you saw the kids was when you separated that in July, is that what I'm thinking? Of 2022. Do you have any questions for us?
No, I'm just really interested in the pen papers. Like, for my own curiosity, I want to know what was going on and all of those little interventions. And
I'll look back through the photos because, like I said, we documented everything in the home, whether we took it or if we didn't. And then I'll reach out to Mr. Kester and let you know.
So I have a couple of observations when you're done.
Yeah, go for it.
So I always thought it was interesting, now that you mentioned that she was riding a lion. Kevin told me that when they were having these group meetings, she would never show up. She would show up on the WebEx, but in place of her person, would just be this X for the connections. So it's like this Wizard of Oz thing going on.
She never showed her face. She always covered herself.
Yeah.
Like even in the hottest of summer, she would wear these hoodies. She would smell so bad.
Yeah.
She would never bathe, but she was trying to hide her arms and stuff because apparently Ruby told me they were just like mutilated. And
so the other thing that I think it's important for them to know is during that whole time when you were out, you only had communication with Ruby maybe 3 or 4 times, but each time, or at least on some of the occasions you spoke to her, she's telling you that everything's blissful, we're doing well, you know, everything's so much better without you.
Oh, that would be communicated to me by Jodi every week, and the men's groups too. And it was just like, you're abandoning your family. And it always hurt so bad because it's like, I want to be with my family so bad. What do you mean I'm abandoning them? If you wanted to be with your family, you would change. You would stop being selfish. But you keep being selfish, so you want it. And it was just felt like, well, how do I stop wanting it then? It's like, then you must change. Well, how do I change? Well, you gotta want it. Well, what? You know, so how do I want it? You gotta change. It's this like
perpetual cycle.
Yeah, there's no, I tried to find my way into that cycle. And it felt like, have you ever had a dream where there's like a problem you're trying to solve, but you can't solve it, and how frustrating you feel?
Not really.
That's what my life felt like. And as I'm looking back and I'm realizing there was no solution. There was, you either had Jodi's approval or you didn't. I wasn't doing anything different than the other men in the group. But they got her approval, so they were praised and they were repenting and they were doing everything right. I, on the other hand, was manipulative and selfish and enabling and blah, 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 blah. And she became like the arbiter of truth, the arbiter of forgiveness, God's own mouthpiece. And it was just messed up.
Well, I'm glad that you're seeing clearly, you know, and kind of came out of it. Yeah, so. Yeah.
One last discussion. So, in the home, when the warrant was issued, there was a bag with $85,000 cash in it. And I understand her lawyer, Ruby's lawyer, has all that.
I'm not.
Which home are we talking about?
Ivan's.
In Ivan's?
In the Ivan's home.
We don't know. The money was left where it was left. We didn't take it. The house was secured when we left. We're assuming that Lamar Windward was able to retrieve it, but we don't. I can't tell you. One or the other.
So here's kind of the issue. That money, she cleaned out their bank accounts.
The kids' savings accounts.
Yeah, and yours too. Your joint account.
Yeah.
That's where that money came from.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you can have, or if I need to have a discussion with the county attorney. Kevin would kind of like his kids' money back.
Yeah. So it would be civilly, so I would go address that.
Talk to Lamar.
Yeah.
See what those funds are being used for.
I don't think he wants to give them up. And I wouldn't either if I were here.
Yeah.
I think he's using them for attorney fees.
Yeah.
I don't know if the county attorney is going to be able to separate that out unless the judge has already separated
What
it
a
out.
bunch of shit, man.
Even the county attorney's going to look at it and go, it's civil, it's both your guys' money in some sense. And
but if you
those kids had to be in all those videos and they took all their freaking money.
The judge would have to divide that up to where it goes. We couldn't do that. He's a county attorney, wouldn't.
If you did go civil, though, I feel like that would be your fastest route to.
It's just dirty what she did.
Yeah.
She stole money. She stole money from my 18-year-old son out there. Yeah. And it's wrong.
Well, the other thing that you didn't, that I don't know, I mean, there's a lot there, but I think they need to know that while Jodi was living in your home, she was also purportedly giving therapy to Chad, and Chad was paying her. He's like,
At that time,
15,
we were
16?
paying her.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't until Chad moved out.
So he allowed, okay, so he knew, this is where I have a problem with this guy. He can be a fucknut all he wants. But he left his son. He couldn't take it no more. He couldn't take it no more. So he left, right? And he probably couldn't wait to get out of there. But he left his oldest son behind to be counseled by Jodi. What a wimp.
Out that part of his therapy was he needed to pay for his own therapy. So at age 17, he was paying her $900 a month to get brainwashed.
Dad at 17?
He did.
What was he doing for work?
He worked he's a lifeguard, basically.
Okay.
Lifeguard supervisor at
So
two
most of his
different rec
checks-
centers.
Yeah.
So it was like the majority of his check was going to Jodi.
He was paying her more than he's paying rent, wasn't he?
3 times as much.
He was paying Jodi from his lifeguard position after these kids did 8 passengers for how many years? Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Why are people such idiots?
That's crazy. Obviously, you've seen her house, and what she has, she's making. There's a lot of money going around. Maybe there's a lot of money. I don't know if we can. Sorry, I've been a little sick. I'm not sure if we know where that money came from or where it went. Like, it doesn't seem like she's had an income within the past little bit. So.
Were her book sales?
I can't imagine. I can't imagine they were.
Who was buying her?
Anyway, I need to get my kids.
Yeah, we'll definitely let you go. And thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
I want to cooperate, though, in anything related to Jodi
and Pam.
If I can help.
We appreciate
We'll
that.
reach out to your attorney if that's okay. If you have any other questions, we can do it over the phone or something. You'll have to meet in person.
That is the end of that one. I don't know if there's going to be more that comes out. This is so weird. So Chad was paying $900 a month. He left his kid behind to be treated that way. Oh, he was a lifeguard of some sort. That's probably where the girls were swimming when Pam Bodtcher came and picked him up and took him to her house to clean for her Costa Rican guests. What were her Costa Rican guests coming for? No, those kids don't have any money from that YouTube. It's gone. They used it all. I think that Jodi wanted all of their things, their house, their cars. She wanted to strip Kevin of everything. And he let her. He let her. We were used to making money off our children. We had been doing it for years. Yeah, it's sick. Kimberly, you think so? Part of her therapy was paying for his therapy. Mm-hmm. He loves and trusts her. He still thinks that plates were flying around and shit was flying around the room. There's something wrong with that. There's definitely something wrong with that. Let's watch a few clips of them when they were 8 passengers.
They're gonna think you're torturing him. Stop it. I know you're not, but it looks like you are. Okay, Russell. I'm only gonna say it one more time, and then you're gonna lose the privilege to eat dinner.
Very
Chad,
nutritious.
what are you doing over there? You no texting at the dinner table. No texting.
Let me see it. Let me see it.
I see it.
We should clarify that in our house, all our kids know that cell phones are free game for parents, so we can monitor safety.
Yeah, no kid ever said, "Yay, I'm so glad my parents read my text messages." Said no.
What is this? I really like you. Hold on.
I did not say that.
How do you work this stupid phone? How do
The only downside to giving your kids a flip phone is I swear I have to remember how to work it every time I go through it. Who are you texting?
Drugs.
No one.
A new girlfriend.
Whoa. I really like you. I saw you in my dreams last night.
I'm telling you, it's not her, it was her brother. Look, go down. She said, I'm so sorry, that was my brother.
How do I go?
I saw you in
Oh my gosh, sorry, that was my brother. What is the nature of your relationship with this individual? I mean, there's like 300 texts in here.
Do you like her, or do you just like her? She's a new friend.
That is really, really messy. I don't know.
I seen him with her, and he likes her.
Does she like you back?
Probably. No, she thinks he's annoying.
My bedroom was taken away for 7 months, and then you give it back like a couple weeks ago.
I don't think our viewers know that.
You've been sleeping on a beanbag.
I've been sleeping on a beanbag since October, and they gave my room back like 2 weeks ago. Oh, I'll give you the reason why I lost my bedroom. I think so. I think this is the reason. At least this is the reason that's been in my head. It's pretty funny, but now that I look back, I mean, it's pretty depressing.
No, we never told our viewers.
That I woke Russell up at 2 in the morning and told him that we're going to Disneyland and he has to pack. And he got up and made his bed all neatly and then packed all his clothes in a suitcase. And then he walked out the door and I'm like, Russell, he was like, what? And he's all happy. Has his sunglasses on.
Do you think it's funny? Because
And then I walk out.
if you think it's funny, then that was 7 months ago. Maybe you need longer without a bedroom.
It was not funny.
Russell got the big bedroom and Chad got the smaller bedroom. And Russell's bigger bedroom also had a bathroom. But what you guys didn't know was Chad didn't get any room. He didn't get anything. He was sleeping on the floor in the family room. Abby, we took the phone away from Abby in November.
And Abby and Julie, that were the two girls at Pam's.
Probably not.
No, I have no friends.
You can play with friends.
No, like I don't have friends.
I don't have friends either.
I literally like told my friends I'm not hanging out with them anymore
Because they're
they say some pretty messed up stuff.
I don't even know where they live. They're pretty far away.
So, summer goal, become the best athlete I possibly can.
If you cut one more thing in my house, I'm going to take the scissors, look at me, and I'm going to cut its head off.
Grandma will be so mad.
So what are you going to do?
Are you going to cut anything else? No.
You promise? Look at Mama. I just got a text message from Eve's teacher, and she said that Eve did not pack a lunch today, and can I bring a lunch over to the school? This happens quite often when you're raising children, because I know that her teacher is uncomfortable with her being hungry and not having a lunch, and it would ease her discomfort if I came to the school with a lunch. But I responded and just said Eve is responsible for making her lunches in the morning, and
the whole lunch thing now has a different meaning, in my opinion. Like, she did not want anybody feeding her children, and I don't think Eve was responsible for making a lunch. I think she deliberately didn't send Eve with a lunch.
Actually told me she did pack a lunch. So
I don't believe
the
that.
outcome is she's just going to need to be hungry, and hopefully nobody gives her food and nobody steps in and gives her a lunch. I'm gonna explain the rules to this.
7?
We're done.
Julie, stop reading the homework.
So you're all...
See, she looks like I think during COVID, they got on some drugs. They started taking some pills. Because she lost a lot of weight, too.
Like what? I have your attention now? Is that it? You're all gonna listen? If you have something in the bag that you would like out, you can pay cash for it. So you learn the value of your items. Or you can give what? Dad, I'll let you take the conversation from here.
You can do an equivalent value chore to get it back.
So he's participating.
And whatever isn't claimed by the end of the day goes in the garbage.
So there you have it. There are tons of clips all over YouTube on these people. I mean, it's never ending. You could watch them all day long. But unfortunately, we've been going about an hour and a half. So I'm going to call it. But I do have one going out video that we're going to walk through that is pretty damn funny. Let me get it pulled up. It's a little bit long, but not a little bit long. It's a lady that was on a Zoom court in Michigan. And it says the title of this is When You Forget You're Logged Into a Zoom Court. Now, this lady reminded me of Caitlin Armstrong, but like a hit Caitlin Armstrong that is like crazy AF. But anyways, this lady's name is Dolores Strickland.
Case People versus Dolores Strickland.
Dolores Strickland, which was, remember, what's her name? Caitlin Armstrong. Her boyfriend's name was Colin Strickland. And this lady's Dolores Strickland, but look, she's down in the bottom right. So enjoy this video. It's about 20 minutes long, but it's friggin' hilarious.
Ready, Judge. On behalf of the people. Court shall cease to Assistant Public Defender on behalf of Miss Dolores Strickland. Miss Strickland, please state your name for the record. She had been here.
She is here, but not in the camera.
And, Your Honor, can we briefly approach?
Seriously. Yes. You knew it was going to happen. All right. Mr. Ron Brown, this is your case?
Ron Brown appearing on behalf of Mr. Johnson. I think this was Nolly Prost, Your Honor.
Yeah, I think the court should be in possession of an order of noli prosequi
I am.
yesterday.
All right. This case is dismissed. That's without prejudice. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
I just got a question. How is this? Is that would be immediately dismissed?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
My name's on the paperwork, so if you're talking immediate, it just happened.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good one.
Quentin?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, wait,
State your name,
the
please.
screen. Hang on.
Tiara Quinton.
All right, Miss Quinton, you
Look at
are
her.
before the court. Before I get to that, I do have to apprise you that you're before the court on the charge of. They give me the information? Probably not. Of course not. Oh, no, they tuck it in the back. No, they didn't. Oh, you're here before the court on the charge of possession of methamphetamine and/or ecstasy. You understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
That's a 10-year felony, or a felony punishable by up to 10 years or $15,000 fine plus court costs. You understand that?
Yes.
All right. You wish to be represented by the public defender in that matter?
Yes.
This is a public defender case.
Thank you, Your Honor. First Assistant Public Defender Cleaning Anderson with on behalf of Ms. Quinton. Your Honor, as to the complaint, we stand mute and ask for a probable cause conference date.
You want this set with the other matter, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. I was going to ask for an adjournment of the other PCC so that we can have both cases on one docket.
All right. So the PCC, let's do this. Let's adjourn the PCC to the 28th, 2023, 9 a.m. Bond will continue on that matter. Back to the arraignment. Hope I'm not messing you up, Ann. I'm sorry. I'll set bond in that case at $10,000 personal recognizance bond. I'll order standard conditions, including no assaultive behavior or weapons. There's to be no possession or consumption of any alcohol, recreational marijuana, or any illegal drugs. I'm also
She's
gonna
waiting
order,
for her hearing.
Let me see that file. What supervision was she under?
Do you feel better?
I'll order community correction standard supervision for testing. You got that?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll set the probable cause conference in this matter for September 28th, 2023, 9 a.m. as your Zoom invite indicates. All right? I think we got all that.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Judge.
folks.
Last.
Jail. Yep. Court does call the case of the people versus Jason Garrett.
Nicole Hughes on behalf of the people.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Excuse me. Good morning, Your Honor. Marcia Creature on behalf of Jason Garrett, standing in for Mr. Robert Killawall.
Mr. Garrett, can you state your name, please?
I'd like to.
All right. Okay, what are we doing?
Your Honor, Mr. Killawall is requesting an adjournment of this matter, given the fact that he was just appointed and he visited Mr. Garrett, I believe, last night in the Washtenaw County Jail, but he's got some items to talk over with Mr. Garrett. So I'll be asking for a 3-week or 2-week adjournment.
Objection.
What's your objection, sir?
I won't be leaving this chair anytime soon, so therefore I think we should just do a breakout room with my attorney and continue this matter.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give your attorney, Mr. Killawall, an opportunity to come down and talk with you instead of doing a breakout room with Ms. Creature. And so the court is going to find, under the circumstances, good cause to adjourn this probable cause to the 21st, 2023 at 9 a.m. I understand that may be over defendant himself's objections, but the court is going to do that. His bond will continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Court calls the cases of the people versus Amber Carr, all 3 cases.
Nicole Hughes on behalf of the people.
Andrew Banas, Assistant Public Defender, on behalf of Ms. Carr. Ms. Carr, if you're present, please state your name. Your Honor, I don't believe she's present. Your Honor, I did speak with her.
Is she Rosebud? Never mind. That's a weird question, but there's somebody on the screen named Rosebud.
Yes, that would be me, Your Honor.
Okay, what's your name?
Dolores Strickland.
Okay, so now we know who you are. This is not your case, so we're going to mute you. All right. So as to Miss
Yes, sir.
Carr.
Ms. Carr reported to me that she tested positive for COVID.
We all set? That's it? Okay. And so, folks, court will stand in recess. We will reconvene approximately 1 o'clock to call the rest of the cases. Court's in recess.
So yeah, the court goes to recess for an hour. An hour at lunch. And she doesn't know her camera's on during the whole lunch. She just has it connected. Look at this. This person actually speeds it up. This is an hour of her doing this. Look at the painter's tape. I can't with this chick. So she's petting her dog, and now her boyfriend. So she's showing up because some domestic violence case. So she was the aggressor in the domestic violence, and her ex or boyfriend or whatever took a restraining order out on her. So now he's going to come into the frame, and they're not even supposed to be together, right? Because there's a protection order. Unbelievable. You're buying a lottery ticket today? Good luck, looking beyond. How do you know Rosebud? Does she have a lot of court hearings? I've never seen her before. Here, we're going to speed this part up. Wait till they come back. Well, her boyfriend will show up, and then Dude, she is all cracked out. Oh, here she's singing. Look. And she was muted the whole time. She's fucking singing.
Psychopathy.
Y'all, she looks like Carrie from that movie. You can't make it up. You just can't. Carrie from Carrie, yeah. Look. I mean, she knew they were at recess for an hour. Why would you sit there singing? Sissy's basic. Yes. Sissy's basic. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Hold on. Let's go back to normal speed. Now she's late. Oh, this is the victim in her case. Okay. This is during the court's lunchtime recess. Look at the dog. I can't. So there's a protection order against her. They're not supposed to be together, and they're on the court's Zoom doing this. Chrissy, it'd be funny to put a song to that part. Lisa, Ashley. Her hearing's at 1. Why'd she sign in so early? Messed up. That is so messed up. Here we go, Cheryl. This is for them.
Why are people such idiots?
Ohana? Wait till the court comes back in the session. Looking beyond. Look at her Michigan pillows. Okay, so after lunch, here we go.
Court calls case, People versus Christine Magnan.
Nicole Hughes on behalf of the people.
And Assistant Public Defender Emily New on behalf of Christine Magnan. And Miss Magnan, can you please turn on your camera and state your name?
Christine Magnan.
Thank you. All right, what are we doing?
And Your Honor, we are asking for an adjournment in this case. I believe it was actually adjourned last time because we were looking into whether surveillance footage exists. I do think the people need a little more time to get an answer on that. So we're just asking for a short adjournment.
He's went to sleep now.
Court calls case, People versus Dolores Strickland.
Bueller.
Ready, Judge.
On behalf of the people.
Portia Feaster, Assistant Public Defender, on behalf of Miss Dolores Strickland. Miss Strickland, please state your name for the record.
God almighty.
She had been here.
He is here, but not in the camera.
And Your Honor, can we briefly approach?
Seriously. Yes. You knew it was going to happen. All right.
Look at the judge. Look at the judge. Amazing. Amazing.
I think I'm back. Are they back?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm almost.
All right. On this matter, record should reflect you've had a brief bench conference. Miss Kirby.
Your Honor, during the break while the court was taking an hour recess in between cases, it appears that the defendant and the victim were on screen, obviously violating the no contact order. They were doing non-appropriate courtroom things, and the people are asking, giving the violation in the court and the violation from community corrections as well, that the defendant's bond be revoked and she report to the jail by this evening. If not, I would ask for an immediate bench warrant to go out. I know there's a bench warrant already with no bond out of community corrections.
Yes.
She fell asleep.
For the record, I have spoken to Miss Strickland about 3 times over the last couple of days. I did notify her about that community correction warrant. I did tell her that she should turn herself in on that warrant. She has not done that at this point. I do not know if she intends to do that. I will accept Miss Kirby's representation that that was the alleged victim on screen was her, Your Honor, and she already has a warrant to turn herself in, so I would ask her to do that on that case anyway, in addition to whatever the court does on this file, Your Honor.
All right. Miss Strickland, can you come to the screen? She was here, and then she's been out walking around, smoking, as well as doing the things that I could be more descriptive of than Miss Kirby, but certainly it involved contact with the victim in this case. She's not on screen at this point, but what the court's going to do is the court is going to leave the other bench warrant out, no bond. I've marked the file that I did witness, presuming that to be the victim in the case, and I will trust that representation that's being made. I did witness them together, which would be a violation or an additional violation of her bond. So I will leave the bench warrant out. I'm not going to set a new date. I think we know where she is, so we can potentially send somebody to get her. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Miss Kirby.
Look at
what calls the case? People versus Jonah Witt.
She stays in the Zoom. Look, because she's sleeping. Her case is.
When I tried to call her.
Include me on any bench conference with Caitlin Kirby. I would just really appreciate that moving forward.
What?
I said, can I be included in all Caitlin Kirby bench conferences moving forward? I would really appreciate that.
No, that one was pretty ugly. It was not.
So I hope you guys got a chuckle out of that. It's pretty funny. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. I know that I'm going to go swimming with my little grand, who's with little Sophia. So you guys, we're going to run our credits. Thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. This is where the see you later, bye comes from. Come here and say see you later, bye. We got to do the original. See you later, bye.
See you later, bye.
See you later, bye. I love you guys. Thanks again. Rolling our credits and then dance it out. Yay!
Where do you think you're going? Nobody's leaving. Nobody's walking out on this fun old-fashioned family Christmas. No, we're all in this together.
Be sure to check out my other videos and playlists for more true crime content. And if that's not enough, you can join our Patreon. Don't have a tinfoil hat? It's okay. We'll make you one. It's that easy. See you guys in the next video.
See you later. Bye.
I don't give a damn. I don't really care.
John Wayne Bobbitt's penis.
I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems.
Wait a minute.
I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn.
Everybody has said it's okay.
I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to France, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time for that. Staying up late.